What's up TGN, it's Preachy, and as I'm covering most of the PvE raid type stuff here on TGN, we're going to do something that Chromar used to do for you, but he can't do it anymore. We're going to look at the top 5 DPS specs of Cataclysm in patch 4.3, and no doubt until the next expansion in Mists of Pandaria. Next week, we're certainly going to be looking at the worst DPS classes and also the classes that you can expect to be top when we get into Mists of Pandaria using our history of expansions, okay? This week on the main channel, we had a big look at the Discipline Priest and we're in depth on that one. And so you can definitely check out some advanced tips to playing your Discipline Priest if that's what you're into, okay? Let's jump into what we're talking about today, and that's the top 5 DPS specs of Cataclysm. Bear in mind, legendaries do have a factor in this, and I've taken all the numbers from World of Logs and based them on Ultraxion. Ultraxion has our straight up DPS fight. Now I know you druids out there are going to be QQing, and that's fine. Ultraxion is not very friendly to druids. Why? Because Moonkins don't get to proc Owlkin Frenzy, which is a big DPS boost for them on Ultraxion, and also the kitty cats, the meows out there can't shred him. That's okay, that's fine. All in all, they're still not in the top 5, even when they get some nice classic AoE where they can really lay down some serious power. So rocking in at number 5 is our Survival Hunter. Our Survival Hunter is going to be bringing you in his top gear about 48 to 52k single target DPS, okay? They are really going to rock the world. They're seriously up there, and that's a great place for Survival. It's been up and down all the way through the expansion. We had Marksman as top, Survival was top for a little while, and now Survival is reigning supreme. Survival really coming into its own, especially with some heavy execute phases, buying off some double kill shots and keeping those explosive shots rocking constantly. If you're into the Survival Hunter, click the guide down below and that'll tell you a little style of how to play it if you're thinking of leveling one, and all the little tips and tricks involved with being a Survival Hunter. Coming in at number 4, storming your walls, it's those Holy Crusaders, it's the Retribution Paladin. Now Rets again have been in a difficult position since the start of Cataclysm, really having to work themselves back up. They had very complicated rotation, and all the top Retribution Paladins said, hey, look, this rotation is really fiddly, it's really fidgety, I really don't like it. Suddenly CLC Ret comes out with a nice mod which tells you exactly which ones you should be pressing next. Pretty much every top DPS Ret Paladin in the world uses this mod. Do not feel bad for using it, guys. Nearly enough everybody is using it. Trust me, they are. If anybody says they aren't, they should be, because all the spells for a Ret Paladin hit slightly harder depending on stuff, and we have a lot of procs to manage. All that kind of stuff, guys, including that holy power. Definitely go ahead and download CLC Ret. Really helpful. And again, another guide down below if you guys want to check out some interesting Ret Paladin styles of play, how you should be gearing and having a go at that. But they're going to bring you in their top gear anywhere between 49 to 53k DPS on a single target mob. They do suffer a little bit from RNG. That means they have a lot of procs which can seriously affect the DPS. But overall, a Ret Paladin in a solid place, coming in at number 4. Number 3 is a tie between one class. What am I talking about? It's the Rogues. Those legendary wielding Rogues are in a really amazing place. 2 out of their 3 DPS trees, that's Subtlety and Combat, are so vital now in Cataclysm and are really pushing out steady numbers. In fact, on a lot of fights where it's useful to have single target only DPS, Subtlety will reign supreme. But a lot of Dragon Soul features a lot of cleave, guys, a hell of a lot of cleave, and nothing is going to compete with Combat when it needs to cleave. All in all, they're both pretty equal coming in at number 3, and they're going to bring you anywhere between 50 to 55k DPS. Now, the good thing about if you want to level a Rogue, is that the early access to the weapons, Fear and Vengeance, is actually really easy to get. Guilds aren't even bothering to charge people now to do it. As soon as they're coming up to the trash at Hagara, they will quite happily bring you along if you've got some friends, or they might charge you a couple of grand. Nothing special to get you some seriously high level weapons really quickly that are going to give you that big agility bonus we're all looking for. Again, guys, down below for both, but the Combat Rogue coming in at number 3, Subtlety also way up there, bringing you 50 to 55k DPS on a single target mob. Can't complain about that either way. Coming in at number 2 and storming your walls is actually the Fire Mage. Now, Fire Mage has undergone so many changes in Cataclysm. In the first tier of raiding, our tier 11 Fire Mages were almost garbage. They really were, suffered from heavy mana issues, not enough crit on gear, not enough haste. But thanks to our tier 13 and, of course, Dragon Wrath, let's not forget how important Dragon Wrath is on this, we've definitely managed to get away from reforging from haste. We were definitely reforging towards haste in the early days. We've now got this tier 13 bonus, our stolen time, and that's really made up for the fact that we can push a lot of crit onto our gear and not have to worry about maintaining a good level of haste, okay? And a good fire mage is going to have a good place of about 52 to 57k DPS, coming in at number 2 really nicely, storming all the other casters out there. The warlocks aren't getting a look in. Compared to these fire mages, 57k single target DPS, that is incredible, and that is the top spot right now at 57,000 damage on a single target mob. Ultraxian 25 heroic. Averaging out, you're going to find a top geared fire mage comes anywhere between 52 to 57k, but still a really great place for mages, and thank you to that tier 13 set bonus, allowing us to invest heavily into our crit with our reforging. Thank you, Blizzard, for that one. Number 1, what is the win? What is the big champion at the moment? What is the one? It's that class that we all hate towards the end of expansion, people. At the end of every expansion in the history of World of Warcraft, this class has always come from nowhere to start tearing you a new face. Not only are they smashing your faces in the arena, they are also crushing it in the PvE charts. It's the Arms Warrior. It's the mortal striking, brutal plate-clad warriors coming in and really tearing it up. That's right, they've got no legendary this expansion, but still they're way up there. When they get their big gear, you cannot stop an Arms Warrior. They're going to absolutely destroy you. And don't worry, you Fury lovers out there, Fury is actually only a few k DPS behind. Still behind, don't get me wrong, they are still behind. The Arms Warrior is king, but only a few k behind. Now, are you thinking, how much DPS are the Arms Warriors putting out? Anywhere for a top geared Arms Warrior, no legendaries, remember, we've gone past the legendaries now into a straight up geared class, anywhere from 54 to 59k single target DPS your Arms Warrior is going to bring in. Really, really powerful class at the moment, and even on when it comes to AoE, mixing Blade Storm and Sweeping Strikes, Arms Warriors are really in a good place. We've got another guide down there, an advanced look at the Arms Warrior if you want to check that out. And also for Fury as well. Fury's going to come anywhere between 49 to about 50, 51k DPS. That's really at the top level. Arms Warriors at the same amount of gear are going to be well ahead of that. They're going to be a nice 3 or 4k at least ahead of that. They're really in a solid place. So happy Blizzard has finally managed to do something with the Arms Warrior. It struggled all the way through the expansion to come out storming right at the end. Really impressed with that, guys. That's your top 5 DPS specs of Cataclysm. If you've got time to level an ult or want to try these classes out, now's the time, guys, before Mr. Pandera lands on us. Next week, we'll be looking at what is most likely to be the best classes in Mr. Pandera at the start, and then we're also going to look later at the best classes likely at the end of the expansion. You take it easy, TGN. See you later.
This video is part of the WoW movement, a career path in video sponsored by TGN. To learn more, visit tgn.tv.